Okay, listen up. Let me know if this describes you perfectly. It is way past your bedtime, and yet you are still awake, scrolling on your phone, watching TV, doing anything but resting. It's gotten so common that there's actually a name for it, and Dr. Katie Stage with the Southwest College of Naturopathic Medicine is joining us to talk about it. Dr. Stage, can you tell us about revenge bedtime procrastination, and have you seen it get worse amid the pandemic?
So it's a new name for something that's probably been around for a while. And the concept is that you go to bed or you think you're going to go to bed and you pick up your phone and then you start scrolling, usually through social media, for much longer than you want to. And then what happens is you don't go to sleep on time and you're tired the next day, and then maybe you keep doing it over and over because you're too tired to do other things. And I think it's definitely worse in the pandemic. Like so many things, a lot of the activities that we might have done before are less accessible. And so we can control this, right? You've got your phone always. And, it's just the idea of it being procrastination is a sense of like trying to gain control over something in your life where life has maybe changed a lot.
So, why do we keep doing this to ourselves, even though we know how bad it is going to feel in the morning?
I think part of it is that most of us, I think, have a little bit less connection we did than over a year ago with other people. And so we're looking for that connection, for that meaning in life. And I think it was just a little bit easier to get that when you were at work and you were going to the coffee shop and you were interacting with more people, and now I think we're picking up the phone and we're looking for that because life feels like it's missing something. But the thing is, you don't get that from social media in most cases. It feels like we might, but we really, most of us don't feel better at the end of that scroll. We feel worse and, then we're tired and we've lost sleep.
Can you talk a little bit too about how this does and can impact us both mentally and physically in our day-to-day lives if we continue to participate in this type of behavior?
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, if we don't get enough sleep, we get really dramatically negative outcomes. I mean, people will start to realize their mood is not as good. It might be more irritable, work performance or school performance can decline. It can also be more labile, where your emotions are just kind of all over the place and you're feeling not good. It can be, more headaches, more migraines, more likely to gain weight, which already people are kind of thinking about since a lot of people have gained a little bit of weight from COVID, burnout, and so the thing that we're sort of looking to address, this sense of loss of control and loss of connection and tiredness actually gets worse, when we're doing an activity that makes us more tired and we cycle and we cycle and cycle.
What are some suggestions that you have, Dr. Stage, about stopping this doom scrolling constantly and staying up far too late?
I think an important thing is that it's probably a habit for a lot of people. And I'll admit, I've done it myself, right? I think most of us have, yeah. And so you can't just decide to stop a habit. You have to replace a habit with something else. And so you're going to have to choose something that can give you some meaning or some connection to do instead of this. And hopefully, at a time that is not going to interrupt your bedtime. So, my recommendation is something like, either set aside a time every day to maybe connect with a pet or a family member or a friend, but build that time in early enough so that you can feel like you've done that, you've achieved it, and then when it's bedtime, you'll feel a little bit more satisfied that you've done what you wanted to do. Whatever can bring meaning into your life, there's lots of different ways to do that, but to be intentional, to put it into your life instead of just expecting that it's going to happen.
Admitting that you have a problem is the first step, right? So now that we could say that we know that we do this too often and we want to make a change, we could start that thanks to the solutions that Dr. Katie Stage with the Southwest College of Naturopathic Medicine has offered us. We'll be sure to put those tips in this story on ABC15.